episode 2 of Descent into the Wormhole, where we discuss everything from ancient civilizations to modern day social issues and everything in between. I'm Les.
I'm Stevie J, and in today's episode, we'll be taking a deep dive into the topic of censorship and why we are so censored. So make sure you grab that coffee or hit the cruise control, and let's get into it.
Oh, we're going to get censored for this one.
Are we definitely going to get censored for this? I feel like we will, at least on a certain platform, because we're doing this podcast on iTunes or wherever people are listening to it as a podcast, but we're also putting these up on YouTube onto the YouTube channel. So I feel like that's a good place to start. And YouTube, I feel like, used to be this place where anybody could just put up videos of whatever and it didn't matter. And then it turned into where we are today, where not just, and I can understand graphic videos, like, things that are kind of disgusting. I think that's fine. Censor that. But we've gone to the level now of where saying a person's name, saying a topic, mentioning a topic in a video will get it deplatformed or demonetized or not even shown to anybody. So YouTube's probably a good place to start.
It's a very good place to start. And I understand because I feel that this all kind of kicked off, and I believe it was 2019 when they kicked off with anything that had anything to do with children was no longer going to be monetized.
Right.
And if you had children in it, or if it was geared towards children, I don't feel like I'm on board with the whole non-monetization, because I feel that a lot of the videos, like the production quality and the effort that people have gone into to make the videos for kids, they are actually directed at kids,
yes,
really deserve that money. They deserve
Absolutely.
that ad revenue. They've done such an amazing job. They put so much time and energy.
Yeah.
But I can understand having rules around that, because we need to protect the children.
I feel like there's a societal thing here, whereas a loud group of people have said to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like all these platforms, and they have said, this topic is now offensive. Right. You are not allowed to talk about this topic. We don't want to hear about it. Or if you do talk about it, now this is where it gets really interesting for me, is you can talk about this topic, but only if your opinion is this. Only if you have the right opinion, only if you have the opinion of the popular narrative. Otherwise, sorry, you can't be on the platform.
Someone got offended, or it's not the narrative that the higher ups want spoken about. Because at the end of the day, if I'm putting a video up with my opinion on a topic, going back to the very first episode that we did, is just my opinion, and I'm not forcing it on anyone, and no one has to believe me, and no one even has to watch it. But to cut it off at the knees, even before it grew legs, really is what you're saying is no, because it's not what we want the rest of the people to believe. How dare you spread misinformation? And I'm loving that word misinformation, because we have no guaranteed proof that what the actual, like the narrative that the higher ups want us to hear is actually true information. We have no facts on basis. We have a few charts, and we have a guy in a lab coat, or a guy with a gavel, or a guy in some sort of uniform saying, I am the authority figure, and we're supposed to say, okay.
People who are actively seeking new ideas, a different opinion, can't find it when they're looking for it, because platforms are removing that. And what does that leave? It leaves the one narrative, like you said, that the higher ups wanted everyone to see. Mm-hmm. And then again, we get back into that feedback loop of, okay, well, that's the only thing I'm hearing, so it must be true, and it must be true. And these lab coat dudes and these, gavel guys are telling me that this is what's real, so it must be real.
We are treated like children that don't know what's up or down. We can't be trusted to have our own thoughts, because heaven forbid we could run amok if we have our own thoughts. We may go against the grain if we have our own thoughts. Yes. We may riot in the streets if we have our own thoughts, when we realize, wait a second. Wait a second. all of this is not what you say it is. You can't
Well,
get away from it.
That's right. It's everywhere. And it's so funny that you said that word, control, because that's what I was going to talk about next. Is it all comes down to control. And we're going to be talking about ancient civilizations and all kinds of things on this podcast going forward. And we look far back in history, and it all comes down to control. A certain group of people want to control another group of people. In this case, we could very broadly say it's the people in power and the people without power. And the people in power want to keep those without power that way. They want to keep them without power, keep them controlled. And that's because everything that they do, as in, let's call them the worker bees, you and I, we feed into what gives them their power. And so when they control the media, when they control social media, when they control ideas, when they control opinions, they control everybody's perception.
You look around, there's a lot of not happy people around because they're in jobs that their parents wanted them to be in. They're married because society said they needed to. They had children because society says this is what you do. And they look around and they hit 50 and they look around and they say, holy moly, I don't want any of this. And they start to realize, because at that age, parents start to sadly pass away. And once your parents start to pass away, you start to realize, I'm living my life for this person who's no longer here. Who am I here? Who am I pleasing right now?
Yeah.
Midlife crisis kicks in. I think this is where it all kicks off, because now you realize I wasted all of this time trying to live the life that my parent wanted for me, or my grandparent wanted for me. And now they're gone. And now I don't need to please them anymore. So who do I need to please? Woo, imagine that. I get to please myself. And so they almost revert back. They're like, I've only got 30 years, if I'm blessed, to make up for the last 50 that were quote unquote, like almost stolen from me because I was so controlled by everything else around me.
The censorship part of it, sorry, just to tie back to that.
Yeah, I know.
The censorship part of that is the people in power don't want us to realize. They don't want us to wake up. They don't want to realize we're unhappy, because if we realize that we can be truly happy without this system, then it all collapses as far as they're concerned. It doesn't mean there needs to be riots and wars and all these things. It just simply means we don't care about it anymore, and they have no value. Their value as these people up here on a pedestal is removed. It's gone.
It's quite the rise to get to absolute pure joy. But if you keep everyone at fear, well, you keep them very, very, very dense. And nothing good can come into your life when you are in a constant vibration of fear. Because the more we rise, and the more we rise to the level of love, when it comes to the vibration of love, it actually raises other people around you without even telling them what you're doing. It automatically raises. So that's actually my hope. That's my hope for the future, is that we can get enough people to raise up to that love vibration that it just automatically raises the people around you. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
It would be so good. And like you said, it gives me the warm and fuzzies too, because what a nice place to live. Like what a nice environment to live in. And we you mentioned Netflix and stuff before, how we still watch and everything. And I just want to be clear, like we see all of this stuff, and there's a difference between saying I'm boycotting these things because of what I am aware of, and having an understanding and sort of being awake to what's going on, but also understanding that it can't be changed by doing things like boycotting. I feel like that, if people want to boycott things, that's fine. That everyone can do what exactly they want. Yes. But really, I think we need to look into ourselves, like you just said, work on that vibration for ourselves and spread that to other people, and ignore the garbage, ignore all the lies, ignore the fear, and we actually could become a much better place, a much happier place.
So thanks everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to us. We hope that you enjoyed our conversation, and we hope that you got something out of it that has you maybe thinking a little bit more outside of the box. Take care, guys.